So we have those two pages done, those two pages done. Now we will work on this one. For this one, we have leftover cardstock. This is leftover from this piece, and we will use it right here. So we're gonna pre-cut this. We will pre-cut this sheet to 2.5 inches. By 8. And we will score in half. So we will score it at 1.25. We will fold this over and burnish. And the reason why I cut it to 8 inches is because this is the height of our journal. Now you could make it a little bit shorter, and maybe that's what I will do. I will cut off maybe 1/4 inch. Now what we're gonna do with this piece, we're gonna position it just like that, kinda on the middle, and I am gonna mark maybe 1/8 of an inch right before our binding. And I'm gonna do the same thing on both sides. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, only on those both sides. So now when you open it, align it with your board. So as you can see, my mark is just about aligned with the board, and I am gonna cut from the score to the end, and I will do the same thing right by every single mark I made. Just like that. So this is what you're gonna end up with. So now the 1 inch, or this is actually 1.25 inches by now, because we did add additional 1/8. So I'm gonna position it like that, and I will cut this off. Just like that. So this is what you have right now. And I did this because we will create additional page. So what I'm gonna do, okay, this is the front. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this right on the inside, just like that, and match up all the way to the other side. So if we open the other side, this is what you have, and this is exactly what I was looking for, because I want to create additional page in here. This additional page we will use, we will make something out of this. So, you know, I'm gonna remove this and I will trim it a little bit more, just to give me a little bit more playroom. So I'm gonna cut out maybe another 1/8 of an inch on both sides. And I will just put this right in here to the other side, just like that. And we just created almost another page. Now, if you would cut sheet 8 inches long, this is, I think, 6 inches, 5 3/4, and add another inch, you could actually create additional entire sheet. But I did this because for this portion, I want to attach envelope in here. So we need to make envelope. To make envelope, I'm going to use this paper. So we need to cut this to size. So the width of our envelope, I want it to be 7 3/4. So we will cut the paper to 8 3/4. Okay, so now we will score. We will score at 1/2 inch. We will turn around and 1/2 inch. So now when we fold this, this will give us approximately 7 3/4. And that will fit right here, and this is how we will add that additional page. So now this piece we will cut. We will cut this piece to 5 1/2 inches. So when we position this right here, it will be a little bit shorter than our journal width. The piece that we have left, I think I will also cut to the same length, which is 5 1/2, because otherwise we won't have enough for the closure for the flap. So now we will start assembling our page. So now this one, I think I want it to be on the back. So we can position like this, but we will position it just like that. So I am going to apply the glue right here to the back. I will align my page. I will open the flaps and I will glue this right here. And as you can see, we did add page to our journal. So now I am gonna trim the edges right here, all the way from the outside all the way to the score, and I will do this on all 4 sides. Let me fold this over this way. I should have done this before I glue it, but okay. Alright, so that's our additional page. Now we have this piece left over, which we have our scores. Those scores we will cut out. So I am just gonna align this and cut this off on both sides. And now we will glue it just like that to match the front. But before we do that, I want to make a little opening in here. So what I'm gonna do, and let me work on the wrong side. So I'm gonna mark 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch right here. And now I am gonna find the middle, which is 7.5, so that's gonna be 3.5 and 2/8. And it doesn't matter what type of angle you want, you can do whichever angle you want. I think this one will work for me. So I'm marking for you so you can see it. This is what I will cut out. Okay. So now I am gonna glue this to those flaps in here, and I'm gonna put little bead on the bottom. So let me apply some glue here and here, and little bead on the bottom just to close this off. So now I will realign everything, and let's make sure this adheres. Okay, so the only thing we are missing is really the flap. So for the flap, I have this left over, and that's what I'm gonna use. So I need to cut this to size to match this width of the envelope, which is, I'm gonna cut it to 7 5/8. 7 5/8. And I will try it. I want this to fit on the inside, just like that. And it's working fine, so that's how I'm gonna keep it. Now we also need to score this at 1/2 inch. We will fold this over. And now this is how we're gonna glue this. We're gonna glue this right here on the inside. So this will be our envelope. Now I will check where the middle is, and it's somewhere in here, and I will cut out that envelope shape. So my mark is right here, and I don't want to cut such a big angle, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go 1 inch from the beginning, and I'm gonna cut it all the way to that mark. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, but this is not comfortable for me, so let me lay it this way. Align it with my board, 1 inch to the point. Just like that, and this will be our closure. We got our envelope. So now I am gonna apply the glue right here, and I am gonna place this right on the inside, just like that. When you close it, you know you are even. And here is our envelope. Now if you want, You can also cut longer strip of paper and apply it on the inside, just like that. And maybe that's what I will do from some of my leftovers. I got this yellow left, so just to decorate it a little bit more, we can apply it just like this, and it's a beautiful presentation. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I will apply glue all around here. I'm not going close to the edge because I don't want to glue that envelope. And now let me fold this back, and I'm placing this on the inside all the way to the edge. And this glue is grabbing really quickly. So here you go. So now I will squish it from the inside. You have beautiful presentation. You could decorate the flap the same way if you want, but I will leave it just like that. So now to close this, I am also gonna use brads. And as I mentioned to you before, I don't have the circles, so I'm just using hearts. And I'm going to use this color to kind of match the inside. When you open it, at least it will match nicely. So I'm going to cut out 2 of those. And I do have some leftover green, so I will use that. Okay. So let me glue them. And I think I'm also going to make it on an angle because I don't want to necessarily cover this butterfly. So I'm going to do it this way. And I guess since I'm using brads, I'm going to have to cover this. So let me take my tool. Okay, I will apply a little bit adhesive just so this stays put. Okay, we got one done. So I'm gonna make this one somewhere here, just like that, but I will apply the glue first. Okay, I want it in here. Alright. And now it's a challenging part because you can't really see it, but I'm sure I can open this. And here it is. So now I will take a small piece of paper, and it doesn't really matter what the dimension is, and I will just glue it on the inside to cover that closure of the brad, because otherwise when you put something in, it's gonna get stuck. So, okay. So you can't even see it, but I did position a little piece of paper to cover that brad on the inside. So now we need to cover this. So to cover this, I don't have any more of that yellow, but I think I'm gonna use this. Why not? So let me open this. I'm gonna position just like that, aligning the edges and maybe a little bit lower, and I am gonna trace with the pencil. And now I will cut this down, but I will cut it a little bit less than whatever I have marked. Maybe 1/8 of an inch less. So you can see it in here, just a little bit. Okay. Try it before you glue it. I think this is perfect size. So I will just apply the glue. And again, I'm gonna close it to kind of squish this. Like this. All right. And we have our envelope. As I mentioned to you before, I don't have a twine, so I will use what I have. And actually, I have crochet thread, and I think that's what I'm gonna use. I like the color. And I don't seem to be able to open this, but here you go. So let me just tie this. Okay, cut this off. And we got our closure. So I like to tie it this way. Okay, so this one is moving because this is not glued to the other side yet, but that's okay, we will get there.